2, 1. Welcome back to Brain Cell Diaries. Today we're talking about love languages and attachment wounds. What's yours? I don't know. That was good. Yeah. Okay. So, what an intro, y'all. We're here. What an intro. Welcome back. Hopefully you had a good week. Yeah. Did we have anything crazy happen this week?
No, you just had more ladybugs. We both had ladybug experiences, yeah.
We did. But did we share the ladybug story?
I don't know if you shared the original one. No.
I think I shared the ladybug story.
Yeah, and just ladybugs from then on.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, real quick before we get into the actual topic of what we're talking about today, we have a cool story about ladybugs. I feel like I should have had the timer. I should go grab the timer.
I was looking for the baby ladybug.
Oh yeah, it's up there. Oh, hi Erica. He's always joining in on the chats. Okay, real quick though. So, was it last week? Yeah, last week I had an important meeting that I had been, I guess, kind of
just a week and a half.
Week and a half ago?
Yeah,
maybe 2 weeks to 2. Yeah. Anyways, excuse me. I had a meeting that I've been putting off for a little while. I don't know if I wouldn't say like purposely procrastinating it, just like finding the right time for it.
Yeah.
And so I finally, make the time for this, and I set the appointment. And obviously, I can't tell everyone what this is about because it's still kind of in the works. But before the appointment, I'm in the shower and I'm getting ready, and I'm sitting there, and I'm almost like a little bit frustrated. And I'm like, just please, dear, give me a sign today. And like I'm feeling almost fed up at this point because I'm just like, give me a sign, something that shows me I'm on the right path. And, this is where I'm supposed to be. I waited this long for a reason. And this is the right person to be meeting with and all these things. And I was like, you know what? Show me a ladybug. And so I'm sitting in the shower, literally like, show me a ladybug. And so I go to my meeting. It goes really well. And I go back to work. And yeah, why are we yawning today? It's the weather.
It's the weather.
Okay. It's gloomy and rainy.
Yeah,
today.
I love it. But
no, it's nice. It is nice actually outside. But anyways, so I get done with the meeting, I go back to work, and me and my mom are in an area cleaning, like out a corner of stuff. And she goes, "Are you ever gonna take this home?" And she hands me this timer. It's a kitchen timer. It's a ladybug kitchen timer though. And she literally, like, if you have me on social media on Facebook, this story is on Facebook. I put it up there for people so I can share this story with everyone.
I'm being outed.
The chaos of our episodes are just getting crazier. I don't know what you're doing.
He's trying to eat my hair. I think he just wants to eat my hair, honestly. He's going to try it.
I'm going to get close enough.
I mean, you can try. You're going to realize that it's not a cricket or anything delicious. If you'd like.
Well, while he does that.
Well, I'm being murdered.
So my mom hands me that, and I was like, there's no way you just handed me that. There's no way that you just gave me that. And she's like, what? Are you going to take it home? And I was like, okay, okay. Oh, goodness.
You went in the office and recorded a video and told me about it.
Yeah, I literally was like, there's no way. And so she hands me this ladybug timer, and I was literally sitting there praying to the universe or, whatever.
Is this the right time?
Yeah, is this the right time? Show me a ladybug. And gives me a ladybug timer. Crazy. So then, fast forward, not only is everyone around me now finding ladybug things, this is like it's a whole saga of ladybug things.
I'm on my way back from Bluffs the same day. Somebody has a ladybug reflective sticker on the back of their car in front of me the whole way from Bluffs. And then literally same day.
Yeah, that was the same day.
She's telling me and then my daughter has a beetle thing on the ground and she's like, look, a ladybug, which it wasn't a ladybug, but that's
the fact that she said
animal
ladybug.
She related it to, and she hadn't heard Carly talk about a ladybug at all.
That was wild. My dad goes to an estate sale, finds 2 ladybugs, like a stapler and a desk thing.
Yeah.
A set. And he comes into the restaurant, he plops them down, he's like, what have I found?
She goes to Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, so was it yesterday? No, Saturday. Saturday, I go to Hobby Lobby. My daughter is getting her nails done, so I'm shopping around while she gets her nails done. I'm in Hobby Lobby, and my nails have strawberries on them. And so I'm looking at the strawberry stuff because I like strawberries and like it's springtime and so they're cute. So I'm looking at the strawberry section and there's this like soap dispenser or holder. I think it is like a sponge holder.
It's weird.
It's like a little sponge holder and it's a strawberry. So I hear ticking though.
And she thinks she's losing her mind.
So I'm like, what the hell is ticking? So I take the strawberry. You can see him in the corner running away. He's embarrassed. Oh God. Okay. He needs to calm down. He's got a lot of energy this morning. Anyway, so I take the strawberry thing off the shelf because I hear this. I hear this ticking, and I turn it around, and I shit you not, there is a Ladybug kitchen timer inside the strawberry, ticking. And I happen to, I'm looking around inside. I think your whole head just fits in there. I'm looking around inside Hobby Lobby, looking around like, is somebody supposed to know what the hell is going on? I'm like, what's happening right now? A Ladybug timer is literally ticking inside of Hobby Lobby, and I happen to find it. That was crazy.
I mean, there's literally only a set amount of time that it was going to be doing that.
Exactly.
Unless somebody was just going and completely resetting it until someone
found it.
That seems a little.
And then you were cleaning your room.
Yeah, I was looking for. I'm sorry. Oh, up there. Okay, I was cleaning my room, reorganizing, random little spurt of ADHD energy last night, and I've had this thing forever, and I didn't even like think about it. I have a little area, like a shelf in my room that has crystals and a whole bunch of other stuff on it, and I look up because I had put all of my little excess ones into a container so I didn't lose them, and then there's just this little jar with a little ladybug.
One single ladybug.
And-
oh, and then my cups.
Yeah, your cups that she got.
So I find, well, this isn't unusual because obviously Hobby Lobby's going to have ladybug things, springtime, whatever. It's not unusual to find something ladybug. It's just how we're finding things is weird. But anyway, so after the timer thing, I'm obviously still shopping around and I find a ladybug coffee mug and I was like, oh, well, might as well. It's fitting, right? And it's like this really big mug. It's got like 3D bubbled freaking ladybugs on it. So I grab it, right? I want this mug. I get home. I'm unloading all my things from Hobby Lobby and whatever. And I put away the mug and I put it on the kitchen counter. I go to grab the next bag and empty it out. And I'm like, just put this on the counter. I go to put it back on the counter. I got 2 of them, but I didn't buy 2 of them. I only bought 1, but there's 2 of them. So I don't know what's happening, but I mean, I know what's happening. It's divine alignment, but it's meant to be. But it was just crazy how all those things are lining up. And then like the things that we talked about of why there's 2 cups and why there's 2 opportunities right now. And like, it's just, when you start to connect the pieces, it makes sense. But I guess that's our weekly recap, really.
Yeah.
Our
little slice of craziness.
Yeah, outside of this craziness, of course.
You can cuddle with this little.
Oh, he loves it. Oh, he gave it a kiss. He's like, I eat you. There's a stuffed animal dragon in his tank right now, and my son put it in there, and he loves it. He loves it so much. He lays across it, and it's his best friend. And right now he's hugging him.
He's snuggling because he got embarrassed. He fell off the chair, and then he did a stand right here and glare at me over his shoulder like I shoved him. And then now he's on his thing looking at me.
He's glaring.
Sad.
But really, anyways,
What we really are here for.
Yeah. What our actual episode is about today is kind of what we started off with is
love languages and
attachment wounds. Yeah, which is a pretty heavy one. Pretty deep one.
We do have a little bit explanation wise before we dive into our conversation, because I don't think everybody knows what the specific love languages are, or if you do, cool too. But and attachment wounds, we kind of went into some research on what those are too, just because we're having conversations, and like we said, we are not licensed, but we want to make sure that some of the things we're talking about are actually accurate. Like,
and they make sense to you. So as we get deeper into the conversation, like when we talk about things, like if you have like a little recap from the beginning of this episode where we give you the definitions of what these things are, it kind of gives you a better understanding, and you can always like circle back to, okay, that's what they were talking about when they talked about this one kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, to start off with attachment wounds, I think. We're going with that.
Yeah. So there's, there's a couple different kinds, but they're basically wounds and injuries that are formed when our needs for safety, consistency, and connection aren't met.
Mhm.
Met. They can manifest as fears around intimacy, insecurities, or unhealthy relationships in adulthood.
Oh, we all have those. We all have those, and recognizing those is what's hard. That's kind of why we wanted to map them out for this episode so that you can kind of find which one you relate to, and then maybe you can heal from those as you understand what they are a little bit more, and then even just do your own research as well on what they are and how to maneuver around them and heal from them and things like that. So we have 4 of them listed.
I think those are really the biggest 4 that popped up.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest ones that everyone struggles with, like abandonment,
The 4
betrayal,
main
neglect, and
ones.
enmeshment. Which, if you don't know what enmeshment is, it's like the fear of losing yourself into somebody else, like, becoming too much of the person.
Giving
That for anybody.
yourself.
I mean, anybody in general, honestly.
Yeah, just giving all of you to something
Mhm.
else or someone else. We've done that. Guilty.
Let's
Guilty.
sign us.
Done that. So, and you can have multiple of these too. I mean, this
All of them.
they
I've
don't.
got all
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Down in that.
So, abandonment obviously is the fear of being left alone or rejected. And I think everybody can relate to that one at some point in time in their life. Betrayal, which is your trust issues stemming from past betrayals or trust issues. So those just kind of hang on. Like, once you disconnect from trust in any situation, you don't really get that back. And it takes a lot to earn that back.
And it's never the same.
To relearn trust. Yeah. So betrayal is kind of a big one that I think people probably have the hardest time coming out of, because it deals with so much of a trust issue. And trust issues, once you get those, next one, neglect. Emotional or physical neglect during developmental stages. So childhood trauma. The nervous laugh we just gave it away. As if that's not our biggest one here.
Just a little hint into the future. There will be a very good topic discussion and a way that we're going to approach it. And we're really excited about that. I think it's in a couple episodes. We're hoping that it will be able to be the way that we planned. Yeah, we'll see. But that, if you're looking forward to kind of something about childhood traumas and stuff like that, and we found a very good approach that we're excited to take. So just a little peek into the future there. So
definitely coming into that'll be our ending our season 1 of Brain Cell Diaries. That's what we have mapped out. So it's going to be a pretty big, I'd say, season 1 finale, 2-part episode.
Massive.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be deep.
It's going to be massive.
Yeah, we're going to get pretty lengthy into that one.
And then again, enmeshment.
Yes, and we always just
fear of losing yourself.
And I don't even know if I recognize that one as fear of losing myself. Like I just knew that I was, and it didn't register as fear.
We talked a lot about that, I think, in the last one.
And we talk about this, I think, in everyone. You just don't see it until you see it, until you're out of it. So then you see it, and you're like, oh, okay, that's what that was.
I feel like a lot of that's going to go into a little bit more in the discussion in a minute after we're done with the definitions. But a lot of people latch onto it too, of they don't know who they are, so instead they are okay with taking personalities and character traits from the people around them because they're trying to create
who they are.
And
so you're piecing together.
Yeah, it's so strange.
It's something I think we've all done, because you are stuck in the stage of just who am I, and then you're taking your environment and just soaking it in.
You feel like that's the only way you can satisfy the people around you, and there's so much in a lot of these.
So going into from attachment wounds, kind of identifying what those are. Those are our 4 main ones here, and then the love languages are next. And there's 5 primary ones of love languages. And so, words of affirmation. Here, it's really just gonna have to close this tank. Words of affirmation, expressing love through verbal or written praise, compliments, encouragement, and appreciation. That's a pretty popular one. Acts of service, showing love or helping or supporting your partner through actions. Definitely feel that one a lot. Acts of service.
Receiving gifts,
Mhm.
showing love through presents or gestures that show thoughtfulness or care. I feel like
Yes.
the difference that we were going to point out was a gift versus a gift that makes you feel seen. I feel like that one needs to be clarified.
Yes. So like I can be like, here, I got you this coffee. And she's like, thanks, but she doesn't drink this kind of coffee. But I repeatedly do this to her, and I'm
Instead
like,
of
here, I got you
listening.
this. Here, I got this. And then she's like, no, I liked iced coffees, or I liked, I like blended drinks. And I'm listening and I hear that, but I just ignore it because I'm like, oh, I think you'll like this.
I don't care
I
enough
think you'll
to
like
pay
this.
attention, but I
And, like-
know that this is the way that you love, so I'm giving you this.
Yeah. So like not accepting that, like you don't have, just because someone's doing something for you or being nice to you doesn't mean they're doing it in the way that you need to receive it, and like that feels good for you. So there's two different things there. You have to be careful of what you're willing to accept and what you actually are needing.
Another one is quality time,
Mhm.
giving attention and engaging in experiences and meaningful activities together.
Quality time is always nice, but not everyone loves that one.
No. Yeah. And I mean,
in different ways.
different ways too. So
Different ways too. The last one is physical touch, and we do have a point on that one as well. Knowing the difference between intimate and physical, and not to confuse them for one another, because if your love language is physical touch, it doesn't necessarily mean it always has to be sexual. It always has to be intimate.
I feel like that's going to go right into how attachment wounds can be created from the loss or denial of love languages, and how withholding them can cause wounds, but also how you weaponize them and they cause rifts. So I feel like that topic specifically is a very good one to use as our.
We could probably just dive right into that.
I think so.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, just the difference between intimate and physical touch. We were having a discussion as we were getting ready.
Yeah, we were
like to film this about how, if your love language is physical touch and the only physical touch that you're receiving is sexual, like, I mean, there was a point in my past relationship where the only time I would get physical affection was when they wanted sex, or when they wanted to like use my physical affection to get something out of me, aka like looking through my phone when I was sleeping or something. But that was the only time that physical touch was in there. And so it became something that I hated because I knew what was coming out of it. Like, it wasn't like, we're out in public, so I'm just going to have my hand on your leg.
Or just like that reassuring thing of just like, hey, I'm here, and, I enjoy your presence, and, I love you kind of thing, but not in like a sexual way. And I think as women, it's easy for us to feel over-sexualized. And I've had that in my past relationships as well, is feeling very much like a trophy on a pedestal and not a person. And I struggled with that a lot. It's like, I went so long thinking I hated physical touch because of the way I was getting physical
the same way.
Like, I was like, no, I just don't like it. Like, maybe something's wrong with me. And I literally would think that, like, maybe something is just wrong with me. I don't want to be touched. I don't want to, like, don't touch me. Don't come near me. I don't like it. But it wasn't that I didn't like it. It's just I didn't like the way I was receiving it, the way that person was giving it to me. It was just always something sexual. And I was like, I'm so tired of just feeling sexualized all the time. And women specifically, I think we just struggle with that a lot because we are just overly sexualized.
I think that goes straight into weaponization too, though, because a lot of the times when you voice like, oh, you're only making me feel like you want me for sex. You're only making me feel like I am sexualized. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, I'm not touching you at all. Or that you think that's all.
Or they make you feel bad.
Yes.
Well, this is the way I need it. I need this. I need this. Like, but you're not listening to what we both need. It's just what you need. And then you shrink yourself into thinking, and then you just have to shrink yourself into thinking, okay, well, maybe this is how it is, and I either have to learn to like it or I have to learn to deal with it.
Or you wind up in turn weaponizing that one of their love languages against them too, because you feel weaponized and put in
you feel
and Like, oh, you like quality time. I don't want to spend any time around you because of the way you're making me feel. So
Yeah.
you're unintentionally weaponizing their love
that
language.
turns into resentment.
Yes.
Which is why
And then it charges
relationships
from.
end, because once you hit a stage of resentment in a relationship, you don't go back to that.
And then
don't
you
go back.
create your wounds. You get your betrayal. You get your
Mhm.
neglect. You get your abandonment. You get
Mhm.
all of that stuff that creates all those wounds that you have to heal from. And it's just like this
This terrible,
never-ending circle.
nasty, vicious cycle. And then that's how a lot of people end up in relationships that just, aren't meant for them and last too long, because they repeat the cycle. And we've
Mhm.
both been in, you're gonna make me yawn again.
It's so weather. I don't know why. I just want to be in bed.
I know. I was in a much brighter outfit earlier, but I was like, it's not that kind of day. It's a very muggy kind of day. Anyways, but I lost my train of thought on that one, but that's okay.
I think they also sometimes, like, when you're not healed from those things that are caused from those previous, like, love languages, or the mesh that just goes like this constantly, and then you wind up not knowing what it is, or your love language changes, or it stays the same, but you feel you're guarding it closer and you're changing it, and like to accommodate the person you're with, and then you turn around and you're creating more attachment wounds, and then you get into a relationship with somebody, or you even entertain the thought of a relationship with somebody.
I think I can be firsthand on that one.
Yeah.
It's like coming out of something that I felt I was over-sexualized in, and I didn't want physical touch, and I didn't want any of these things because I felt so just like, I don't know. It didn't feel right to me. None of the relationship felt right to me. Regardless of the person, like himself, good person, just love languages weren't connecting. So there's nothing wrong with him. It's just the way we were together. It just we weren't connecting on those levels. So we weren't understanding what we needed. But because I was stripped of all these, or I felt stripped of all the things that I needed out of that relationship, I found something that gave me those things. And I'm like, oh, I need this. This is what I've been missing. And then I get myself into a relationship with things that I feel like I've been missing, but then they have other sides of those things that I now have all these new attachment wounds and all these other things that I have to deal with because of things I didn't heal in the first one. And I just jumped into something new because I was missing so much. So I think that's something that's dangerous.
One of my biggest, I think my top love language is active service, where people, like, you do something for me to take something off my plate. Like, I am a very, like, independent person. And I feel like both of us are like that. And especially in life, growing up, like, that's how we had to be. You had to do it all. You had to do everything, and in my past relationship, I still had to do everything. But no matter, they got me comfortable enough to ask for help, and then threw in my face asking for help. So it made me go, okay,
You struggle so much.
yeah. So then now I'm to the point where I don't ask for help for anything. I just do it. Why? Just
why?
do it myself.
Because then you're gonna make me feel bad about it.
Yeah.
So that's something you have to heal from.
Exactly. So it's strange, like, going from something that's my love language to that being weaponized against me, to being terrified of having my love language and having it fulfilled and having it accommodated, and learning how to heal enough to accept my love language again, to be loved correctly. Because now I'm with somebody who's like, okay, let's go, let's do it. And I'm like, I asked you once, but I'm not going to ask you. Like, when it's like, I'm just going to do it because, like, I bring it up, but like, how do I, like, so it's a crazy thing to have to go from.
It's hard to have those realizations too. Like, I know I need this.
How do I accept it?
Yeah. How do I take this, and how do I trust it?
Yeah.
Because that trust
Like betrayal.
Because you've been betrayed before. How do we trust this now?
It's so interesting how all of
everything
work together.
Piece so perfectly together when you put it into a full circle. You have to do this, to do this, do this, do this. Everything has to match up and align perfectly. And all of these things make sense once you know them all in full circle moments.
And it's crazy too, from you and I were both, like, very sexualized in the last relationship, to the point where, like, that's all that they wanted from us. So it's so strange, but also very nice to go from feeling like something that wasn't necessarily at the top of our love language because of the way that it was turned into.
Yeah, physical touch was the furthest
like
thing.
How do we turn that into someone else's Like, how do we love someone whose love language is that, when that's something
Yeah.
that was weaponized
It was
against
taken
us?
away
You know
from
what
me,
I
so
mean?
how am I supposed to give it to you? Because
Exactly. Because I don't know how to
have
receive it
Yeah.
correctly. How do I give it to you correctly?
It's definitely one of those things where it just takes time and the
Mhm.
right person in order to feel safe enough
It's
in
very
those
true.
environments, because you go from an environment that is toxic and, just weaponizing every part of you, and then you go into this next phase of your life where it feels safe and comfortable, but you still don't quite trust it yet, and you're learning how to, because you don't want that mistrust to ruin something that is good. You
Mhm.
don't want to take this person that is trying to give you everything that you need and then hurt them because you can't trust the situation
Yep.
better than the last one.
I have that exactly written down, how easy it is to mistake attachment for love in the stages of healing, and how that hurts others and ourselves. Because that is also another side of it too, is that,
Mm-hmm.
like, you get out of something that was incredibly painful and you're still learning to heal, and you think, oh, okay, I'm healed enough. And, you start entertaining the idea of something else, and they're checking certain boxes and you're forgetting other things that,
Yeah.
like, or you're not seeing them because, oh, you're receiving a love that was so much different than what you just
So easy
experienced,
to
but
ignore
it's
the other
not
things.
fulfilling correctly or healing you correctly in the way that it's supposed to.
This one is so relatable.
Yeah.
This whole episode is very relatable, especially because we're still going through this now.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of something that you do repeatedly learn in every part of your life anyways, and it doesn't mean you get to this you don't achieve oh, I know it all and I everything's good, like you're constantly learning. So um but right now is prime for us
Yeah.
to be unlearning the ones that we've dealt with and relearning new ones, and that one's hard.
And I mean, you have your primary. You have, so you have all of the 5 love languages. I mean, everybody but
has them.
it's which ones you yourself prioritize.
Yeah.
So, like, mine would go, I think acts of service is my top one. And then I think quality time, physical touch, receiving gifts, and words of affirmation. Like, I mean, they're all like,
I don't know how I would number mine. I think receiving gifts would be my top one. Or excuse me, acts of service, not receiving gifts. Acts of service is my top one. If you do something for me, like you said, to lighten the
takes something
load,
off my plate.
to that you don't have to I don't have to ask you to do, you just do it. And you're like, hey, I noticed that you needed help with this, and you just did it for me. That is that you love me. You love me. She does that all the time for me. She does things for me, and I don't have to ask, and I don't have to wonder, and it's just done. And I'm like, I feel loved because I feel seen. Yeah, this is why this is why you're my wife. This is why. But I think that would definitely be my first one. Physical touch isn't something that I ever thought would be even on the realm of my lists, but I definitely can see now where I would have to let go of a lot of these, wounds that I have
that
in order to
on the same
team. Yeah.
because sometimes one's more than the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they're very
Yeah.
on the same.
I would agree with that one too. Quality time, I enjoy my own space so much that you have to be able to fit into that space
without disrupting.
Yes. I don't want to feel like I'm giving up my time and space. I want to be able to enjoy that with
I
someone.
feel like that's a good way of, I just gave you an example. For me, me and my boyfriend, I'll just hang out and either play games with him or read with him, and we're just within each other's presence, and he plays games as well. But for you, that doesn't work. You didn't like the chaos of somebody.
If I'm going to read,
yes,
I'm going to read in a beanbag.
So it's just funny how different that looks for everybody as well, too.
I think
Same
if
concept.
I'm going to enjoy your time, and that's the kind of thing that you need, that it needs to be something
both of you need to accommodate to each other. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's also something that is we were discussing, I give a different love than the love I receive. I give people, I will do acts of service because that's one that I like, so I know that it does that. I am also a gift giver, but I also am a words of affirmation person. I consistently will tell people how much
Very
they mean to me or what they're doing or good job or,
I think
whatever.
that one has moved slowly up my list for me to give love in that way, because I don't think I used to be that way. Very much kept those thoughts to myself, I guess. But now I feel like as I'm learning and growing through all these things, that's something that I'm trying to get better about, is voicing those things, like, hey, you're doing a really good job, or hey, like, I'm proud of you for this, or just like
But
those
neither one
kinds
of
of
us
things.
heard that
Yeah,
growing
no,
up.
we
So that
didn't.
is a very, like, I don't know if it wasn't like, I don't want to say like not easier for you or it wasn't higher up on your thing just
Mhm.
because it wasn't something that you received, so you didn't think about it.
Yeah,
But it's funny because for me, I didn't hear that at all. So now I think about, oh, okay, this person needs to make
because
sure that they know.
yeah, because
Like, so it's interesting how
Yeah.
like two different,
It's the
similar
same
ways of
thing.
growing up, same thing, but like some people take it as
Different.
more in a different way and some people take it as a different way. And it just shows like how healing is different for everybody. And everybody has different love languages and everybody has different like growth and
The
attachment
way you're
issues
gonna,
and everything.
the way you see those love languages and
Perceive them. Yeah.
yeah, is definitely going to be different for everyone. Just because, just for example, just ours right there, like quality time is different for us, but it's still quality time.
Mm-hmm.
Receiving gifts and receiving words of affirmations and things like that, like different for each of us, but still the same thing. Essentially, it's the same love language. It's just the way we
I feel
go
like
about
to
it is different.
expand on all of those, because we said a gift versus a gift that makes you feel seen. I feel like for all of these, you need to be with somebody who's going to see your love language and accommodate to that.
Yeah, not just
And
like,
love
oh,
you
they
for
like
that.
physical touch, and I'm just gonna be like, okay, I
Yes.
physically touched you.
Yeah.
Like,
Like you were saying, your quality time, they need to be able to accommodate how your version of quality time
Yeah.
is. Me and my quality time, that accommodates to it. But you have to find somebody who accommodates to that and sees that and wants to do that.
and not
Because
takes
like
it as like offense. Like they're not
yes,
offended by it. Yeah,
yes,
they're not
yeah.
like, they're not gonna be like, well, I tried, and they're all pissed off
You have
about
to
it,
be able to be with somebody who sees yours, but you also have to understand that like you're also going to have to make certain adjustments to accommodate for theirs too, because you are two completely different people and you both have different levels, but like it shouldn't be such a vast adjustment that you're taking away from each other's differently.
And then that becomes into the losing yourself.
Yes.
Because when you just feel like you're giving every part up about yourself just to make this other person feel seen and feel better and feel loved the way they need to, but they're not giving you that back, then you're just losing yourself. And then that comes with its own attachment as well. And then you just get, and I easily do this with people, with any kind of people. It's just, I so easily disregard what I need to give up whatever I need and whatever, that looks like for me, to accommodate for them and to make them feel better.
I feel like a lot of people should understand too that this isn't just relationships.
Yeah, this is
Every form of relationship. Like,
yeah, this is not just like,
this goes for mothers, brothers, sisters, friendships, bosses, jobs, like everything. Like
any kind of relationship you can form with another human being.
from yourself with something else.
Yes.
Yes. I feel like
that is literally, this can relate to any of those things. It does not have to be just an intimate relationship. It doesn't have to be just a love
you can
relationship.
get attachment wounds from friendships, from
yeah.
parent sibling relationships, from
And
all
that's
of
where-
that. And it influences how you go into something romantically with somebody. If you have friendships that do this to you, how are you supposed to trust somebody on a romantic level? If you have parents and siblings and everything that have done this to you your entire life, that you've grown up and become accustomed to, how are you supposed to go into a romantic setting with somebody? It's just a crazy thing to think about.
Everything ties into one another. And oh no. We're gonna have to do a yawn counter for this episode. How many yawns have we gotten to this episode? It's all because of the rain.
I think there was a question on here. Oh, if somebody were to ask you if you were proud of the person that you're with, what would your response be? Okay, we know what our
yeah.
And then you turn around and ask,
what do you think the person you're with would say about you?
and I feel like if the person you're with, if somebody were to ask them that and you think that they would say no, why? What do you need to work on for yourself? Because that's such a heavy question, because I feel like if you and I were to go into separate rooms or even like whatever, and somebody were to ask you, like, "Oh, are you proud of this being your friend?" What would your answer be?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I absolutely know she would say yes. I absolutely
Yeah.
know what our answers would be because I feel
100%.
very secure in this friendship.
But if you
And
ever sat there and were like, "No, why?"
yeah, and then you start questioning yourself, and then you're like, "What? I shouldn't feel like I've done anything wrong," you know? And
Or why do they feel this way?
yeah,
Like, yes,
what did
100%.
what did I do? And you almost like question yourself, like, what did I do for them to feel this way? And I feel like the way a person is going to answer that question in your life is very important.
Mhm.
You want a secure answer. You want a relationship that you know exactly, if someone were to ask me that, you know, and you are solid in your answer and you know what they're going to say. Like you need that kind of like, what's that word? Like confirmation,
Mhm.
security.
And it sounds horrible, but, like, truthfully, society judges you based off the people that you surround yourself with.
Your environment makes a big
Yeah.
difference.
Regardless of whether or not you want that to be true, it is true. Like,
You are
look
what
at
you surround yourself with.
look at somebody and you make, as human beings, you make that first initial judgment. That is
Mhm.
100% a true fact. Like, anybody could sit there and be like, "Oh, I don't think that," but like, you do.
You do. Yeah.
Everybody does. You
Naturally
deny
you
it,
do.
but naturally you do. Like,
Mhm.
so you're sitting there and you're around all of these people that, like, for instance, like, your friends steal. You don't steal, but like your friends steal. They
Mhm.
do all these horrible things. They expect you to act a certain way. They act so horrible out in public, and it's like you're sitting there and you're like, "Oh, am I proud of the people that I'm with? What does that say about me too? But
Mhm.
am I proud of all of these people that are in my life?" And if you sit there and you say no,
Maybe you should take another look
maybe
at
you
like
need to reevaluate.
yeah, and see what you need to change and who needs to stay and who needs to go and what behaviors need to stay and what need to go because changing your environment is growing. Um and looking at your environment and seeing the role that you have in that environment as well and seeing how you play a part in all of that and making those changes is exactly how you grow.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then also register all of these things for every relationship in your life. You have to be able to take the role that you have in it too and, make those changes. There's a movie that I watched on Netflix and it's called The Life List. I highly recommend this movie.
Tell me about it.
I'm not a sappy movie kind of person. It's definitely not my thing, but um I mean, I don't mind a
I'll
good
just
one
sit
every
there and be
once in a
like,
while.
oh, what is it with the dogs and they're on their way home? It's like a dog and a cat and another dog or
I know what you're talking about.
I was like like sobbing in my bed, like they're gonna go home, like just crying. I love that. I don't know why I love the it's so cathartic, like it's healing.
I like them every once in a
It's
while,
been
but it's not something
sobbing
that
in
I
my
like.
bed. I love horror movies too. I love all movies, but like a good cathartic sob
Yeah.
for a dog trying to find his way to his house. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to cry it out like that.
Sorry. I was
But this movie is called The Life List, and I accidentally found it one night, and it was one of like I was having a hard night, and I was going through whatever I was going through at the time. I don't even know. I don't even know what I would call that. But anyways, so I find this movie, and it's not something I would typically watch. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this, and I'm just gonna see. I don't know if it's good or not, and I'll turn it off if not. But I ended up watching the whole damn thing because it was so good and it was so captivating. I was actually saw it last night when I was scrolling through Netflix, and I was like, I would watch that again.
I would do
I would do that again. Anyways, at the end of or throughout this movie, it's basically this mom telling the daughter, like,
Trust myself on Kim.
we'll go off camera.
Oh, script.
Don't mind us. Part 2. Anyways, this mom tells his daughter, she's like telling her, like, when you find someone in life that you're willing to be with and you have feelings for, ask them these 4 questions or ask yourself these 4 questions in regards to this person. And it is, does this person make you the best version of yourself? Can you tell them everything that's on your mind and your heart? Can you envision having a family with this person? And what was the other one? Oh, yes. Are they kind? So I feel like I took I wrote them in my notes and I read through them often, not to compare those questions to anyone specific. I just remind myself of those things because those are very important points And that kind of goes with what we're talking about today, love languages and things like that you're healing from and finding the things that are right for you in life.
That's so true. Like, my previous relationship, I was ready for a lot of things that they weren't. And, in some way, I feel like
Yeah.
I did kind of not intentionally pressured them to be at the same level that I was at. And, when I sit here and I ask myself these questions, like you brought them to me this morning, and I was like, wow, I could not have answered yes to a single one of those in my past relationship.
But you answered yes immediately to every one of
Yeah,
those.
every one of them now. Like,
Yeah.
I could see myself having a family with the person I'm with. Like, but that's also a big thing that I moved on. So I had my ex, and then I had a weird little thing in the middle that was a thing, and I don't know what it was. But
Well,
I remember I sat you down and I said, I can't be with this person because
mm-hmm.
I remember this was a big shift and change.
Oh my gosh,
Is that my ex very much ruined like my idea of marriage and my idea of motherhood. I've had a very horrible experience with all of that. And I didn't think it was going to happen for me. It wasn't something that I wanted anymore. Like, you ruined it so much that my perspective is something that was so important to me that I didn't want to be someone's wife. I didn't want to have any more children because I had such a horrible experience. And then I was with kind of talking to somebody that I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll just settle. It's not something that's important to me anymore. And then I sat her down and I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. I was like, I can't, because I cannot let them take that much of who I am as a person and at base
You're going to
the rest of my life off of that. I was like, I want to be somebody's like wife. I've always wanted to be a mom and have kids and all this, and I want to be with someone who wants the same things as me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big
so proud of you for that one.
That was like very like
that was I think that was the first time you'd ever registered you didn't want something, and you took initiative to not want that and said, okay, yeah, no, really, that was the first actual time I specifically remember. You're like, you know what I just thought of? And she's like telling me these realizations, and she's like, yeah, I don't want this. And I was like, then
she's like sitting there like,
I was like, yeah, then don't. Don't do it then. And then she just did it. And she's like, yeah, I'm good. And then she just,
she's gone back to my house.
And I was like, good for you. I'm so proud of you. It wasn't something she's normally does for herself.
But I think that's a big thing too, is acknowledging that like love languages that you are giving, you have to give to yourself as well. And they heal your attachment wounds. Like, you
healing yourself,
specifically your quality time with yourself for your love language for yourself has been so healing. Like, you didn't spend any time to yourself unless it was just sleeping, and that was it. And
no, literally, I spent every waking moment with someone and never gave myself the chance to have my own time and
take yourself out on a date and enjoy reading
and not feel bad about it. Like, I don't have to feel guilty.
You weren't entertaining anybody but yourself.
Exactly. And that's what
that was a big thing I was proud of for you, because you went from not being able to do that because you were so in tune to how that would make somebody else feel that you depleted yourself of that.
And that's something I enjoy. So quality time for me is like literally my own quality time. Like, I enjoy being at the gym alone. I
not accommodating for
enjoyed going to dinner alone. I love going to dinner alone. That's love that thing. I literally just love eating alone. Like, I don't know why. It's just so peaceful.
The first time you went, you were like, I ordered myself a pizza, and then I'm so sorry that I got this little voice message, because we send voice messages back and forth instead of texting each other. The excitement in her voice was like, it was something that I had not heard from her in so long. And I think that that's crazy that both of us had those situations where, like, we remember the first time, the excitement, but it was like, you remember how resonating that was for me to like
bookmark. It was a very much milestone.
Yeah.
Of like, I remember the first time you did something for yourself, and you remember the first time. Yeah.
Like, your spark was coming back from that little thing.
Yeah. Like, we kind of talked about that little spark that, I didn't see coming back, but everyone else was kind of like, hey, Carly, you're looking kind of bright again. And like, what? It's because I took myself out to eat, guys. But really though, it's the little things like that, is healing yourself with those love languages and fixing the attachment wounds. And you have to do a lot of inner work in order for those things to work on outside relationships, because if you don't do the inner work, then you're just going to land yourself right back in the same cycle anyways. So I think those were really big moments for us.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of kept going with it though too.
But I think those big moments are what makes your questions, or what creates your questions, like what's important and what you want.
And yeah, so like
you need to ask yourself
those questions from the Lifeless movie, doesn't necessarily mean like you have to take those questions specifically and like ask yourself when you're going into any kind of relationship, intimate or not. You can have your own set of questions that make sense to you. Like obviously if a family isn't something that you are interested in, you don't
Can
have
they
to
align with my future goals?
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Like
you can
change the
alter it,
questions,
whatever.
adapt it to your life and what is good for you and what feels right for you. You don't have to have those specific set of questions, but I like the idea of just having those questions in the back of my head because I'm like, it's just I don't know, something almost tangible to look into and you're
creating something where you're and I feel like that's a very good thing to remind yourself of. You know what I mean? Like you can sit there and be like, yeah, like well, like we said, it's easy to mistake attachment for versus like actual love that you're receiving. So like you're sitting there and you're like, oh yeah, this is nice and I'm like focused on this, but like you go back and you look at your questions and you're like, wow, is this person actually capable of giving me this or am I just lost in what I'm receiving?
because I haven't had it.
Yes.
And this feels like what what I think it should feel like, but you're not actually looking at it in depth enough.
Am I paying attention to the fact that they have put a smidgen of water in my cup? Am I paying attention to that because it's water in my cup or because my cup was empty?
Oh, yeah.
Or am I reaching my full potential of where I can start pouring it back into other people without
I like that a lot.
becoming less than half?
I like that a lot. That's heavy. That's heavy.
Look at us go.
This is my therapy session every week.
Yeah.
I mean,
like we just get ideas of what to talk about and then they just turn into
this is just something that we'd sit down and talk about anyways.
Yeah.
And we would just ramble about.
We do stop having these heavy conversations outside of work now, which is so nice because we save all of our good conversations for here. And it's not like, oh, fireplace conversation, like where everyone else.
We literally would sit in a booth or next to the fireplace and we're just like having these like
in-depth customers are walking
crazy
past
wild
to check out and we're like, yeah, anyways, like I was abused.
So my childhood traumas made me like this.
That is so funny.
But no, that's really that's why this is because we are sitting there and we're like, we have these conversations anyways. We really need to share them with the world.
I got a fantastic message from, a friend of mine that I haven't really talked to in a long time, but like what they said about the podcast specifically, like, they said having you talk about the topics the way you do about your lives makes it so relatable. And I do want to like reach out and say that like we have mentioned before to like please message us, but like you guys telling us that like this is kind
helping. Yeah, this is like the conversation like you need to hear because to us it just feels normal. We're just talking and like this is just normal things.
This is what we need, but
we realize that these conversations aren't. I don't know what's happening. These bangs
in your mouth. Sorry.
We realize that these conversations aren't ones that people have normally. This is not talked about enough. These are not talked about openly enough to where you feel that you can relate to these things. And you're like, when you listen to someone else talk about them and you're like, oh my gosh, that's literally what's in my head. Like I can relate to that so much. But it's not something that I feel like people market it almost. And it's not relatable. It doesn't feel truthful. It doesn't feel honest. So when you're listening to us speak, I feel like we're just casual and we just talk to ourselves like we normally would. So we want that to have the same feel in every conversation, in every episode. If you're sitting in the room with us, you can literally be part of this conversation. And that was always the goal. So for people to reach out to us and let us know that, we've talked about that's what we wanted. And then never said it out loud. And then we've gotten messages and they're like, hey.
Or comments from people,
this feels so, this feels like we're in the room with you. And then not telling anybody that, but then getting that kind of feedback. Obviously, we feel like we're doing something right.
It also, I had a moment for one of my regulars that I love. I don't even know their names. They call me Curly Sue when they come in and I just know their faces.
Yeah, I know them.
Love them. She told me something she was struggling with and, that she was having a horrible day. And I was like, well, it's a horrible moment, not a horrible day. And she just kind of looked at me and I was like, really? And she's like, well, you never seem, she made the comment. She's like, you never seem like you're having a bad day. She's like, you always seem like you're happy. And I was like, no, I'm not. I was like, I'm struggling with stuff every day. I was like, but if I sit here and I hold on to this, that's what's going to define the rest of my day. And that's going to have power over the rest of for as long as I carried around with me. And she came in the next day and she's like, I want you to know you were one of my guardian angels for the day. She's like, I really needed to hear that. She's like, that was such a powerful thing to say, that like I was just focusing so much on that anger and not on everything else that was around me and helping me that day. And I also feel like that resorts back to this though too, like a lot of people will stay in things that they're not benefiting from because they're afraid of hurting somebody else. But like, you have to realize that the more power that you give something over your life, the more you're going to make that your life for the rest
And
of
it's going to take a hold of you.
Yes.
It's absolutely going to take a hold
Like,
of you.
you can walk away. You don't owe anybody but yourself anything.
Yep.
Like, you only owe yourself. And if something is not benefiting from you, if you are not benefiting from it, like,
Let it go.
Leave. Let it go.
Let
And
it
it's gonna hurt, especially if you have abandonment issues.
Oh my God.
But
it's a lot easier said than done because we have
It
been in
is.
these positions,
Yeah.
obviously, and we can only tell you these things now with the confidence that we have is because we've been through it.
we've done that.
So if you haven't been through that and you feel like, oh, why is it so easy for them? It wasn't.
It's still something that we struggle with.
It's not easy for us. It was never easy for us. It's still not going to be easy for us going forward.
You got it.
Oh yeah, I did.
Arizona?
From Arizona. I was like, oh, I like that. Of course I like that. But anyways, don't feel like you are not capable, I guess, of making these kinds of adjustments and healing this kind of way, because just because we're talking to you as if we know everything, we don't. We definitely don't.
I just felt like we needed to give somebody a reminder that, like, you're not stuck where you're at. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you are strong, you are capable, you
If you
are
are dealing with any of these things that we talked about today, you do not have to be stuck with them. And you can identify them, you can register them, and then you can move forward from them and you can fix those things. Those aren't something that you have to identify with the rest of your life. They're not who you are. You are who you are, and you have to adjust those things as you
have the power to alter your own perspective and how you want your life to be.
It's all a mindset game, and that is such a big thing. And I know the word mindset is thrown around so often these days, but it really boils down to your mindset, as how you perceive things, your perspective on life. Your thoughts have so much power in your day to day, and you don't realize it. And I think I actually made a Facebook post.
You did? About Mondays?
No, not
or the other one.
The other one. You have to pull it up on your phone. You should read this one. I forgot how I worded that, but I feel like
I'll stalk you real quick.
Yeah, just stalk my page real quick.
It's my favorite thing to do.
Not that one. I mean, that one's good too, and it kind of goes off of. No, not that one. Do. Keep going. Keep going. Soon. No. Yes.
Once you understand the power of your words, you won't just say anything. Once you understand the power of your thoughts, you won't just think anything. And once you understand the power of your presence, you won't just be anywhere.
That's kind of where we were just along the lines of that conversation right there, because your words and your thoughts and what you pour yourself into matters.
And what you allow to be poured into you matters. And that goes along with relationships and love languages and your wounds that you're healing from. And you're going to keep bleeding if you keep
stabbing your own self. Really, I think to recap all of that is, just give yourself time and acceptance and love as you're going through these things, because
everybody loves differently.
Yep.
Everybody receives love differently.
Don't beat yourself up for like, oh, well, my story doesn't sound like her story, but look at her, or like, things like that. Don't compare yourself. And definitely don't compare your journey to anyone else's, because we can be on the other side of things, but you're just beginning.
And if you pay attention, I mean, throughout the podcast, we do a lot of this where we have been through a lot of the same similar things, but the way we reacted, the way that we healed, the things that are important to us, all of that, we have completely different. Like, yes, we have two people sitting in the same room that have kind of the similar things, but
the way we perceive things and the way we went about things and our actions in order to heal from them, two different things.
Yeah.
Two very different paths. We were definitely not on the same path there. Our end goal is always the same. And where we're going and where we're at right now, I think,
and we can acknowledge that we can wave at each other and opposite ends of the side.
We're on the same time path, I'd say. I'm dying. We're on the same time path, I'd say. Like,
dragon. Sorry. Look at the way he's laying. I'm sorry. He just looks so funny.
He's ridiculous.
On the same time.
Yeah, we're definitely in two different journeys.
Mm-hmm.
It's two different things.
For sure.
But really, I feel like that's our episode for today, you know? So if you go back and you listen to the beginning, slurp, slurp, slurp.
Hit the back.
Beginning of those and like even jot down what those love languages were and the attachment wounds were and identify the ones that you're struggling with. I think that's a good step one of taking the right direction in order to heal those things for yourself.
And
if that's
finding
something
out what your love languages are and acknowledge them. And there's actually, if you search up love languages, there is a whole website, because the guy who created and did the research for love languages, he has books based off of it. He has identifying your anger and how to cope with that, identifying trauma and how to cope with that. He has like books that he has actually curated research on and released and helps you acknowledge
that on our Facebook page.
Research and stuff. Yes. But the guy, if you search it up, there's a free quiz that you can take and it will tell you which love language you and which ones, you're most important all the way to the bottom. I did. I took it. I was like, why not? Whatever. I was doing the research for it. Like, why not? But the quiz and stuff is free. If you want to order your book and stuff, that is obviously you have to pay for that. But there are resources out there where if you do want to learn more, just search them and they will.
Knowledge is power. Always. The more you know, the more you know. But I think that's really.
I think that's a pretty heavy episode. Yeah.
It is. I think once you hear it put in those ways, it'll click. Because you don't think of those things of like, you don't think of your love languages on a daily basis, and you don't think of your wounds that you have on a daily basis. But when you hear it, you're like, oh, I might be with that. That actually makes a lot of sense.
I didn't realize a couple of those, so I was researching them as well, like things that I need to acknowledge and work on and get better at, and
like even like I couldn't give you a list of my top to bottom ones. It's because I'm still figuring mine out myself. So it takes,
and mine are changing too.
Yeah, and they do. They
being loved differently and correctly also will completely alter your perception of your love languages.
Oh my God.
So
yeah. And just, I feel like for me right now, it's just being on my own time and just learning to forgive myself and let go of a lot of what I've dealt with and what I've put up with in the past, and
not
coming out of
accepting
that.
just anything to fulfill.
So that's where I'm at right now in my stage. Yeah. It's just learning what those things mean for me personally, not with someone else.
Before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of filling each other's spaces here. But I hope you guys have had a good week and enjoyed.
Interact.
Yes. And definitely, hopefully you enjoyed last week's episode, because last week's episode was awesome.
That was our favorite.
It was our favorite. We were definitely very high energy and bubbly. Yeah. This episode is definitely a little bit heavier, and the weather fits. And, it felt a little bit more somber, I guess. But tune into, obviously, every Sunday we post an episode on Podbean and YouTube. Our link tree is posted on Facebook and Instagram, so you can find all of our episodes there. And if you ever want to reach out to us personally,
if you have topic ideas, if you have things you want us to bring up,
or share us your stories, because like we mentioned, we want to do listener diaries. So as soon as we get those stories in, we will add a listener diary in, and we would love to just share your stories or even talk with you.
Anonymously.
Yeah, obviously, like if it needs to be anonymous, that's totally fine. But share those stories so we can talk them through those with you on here, and then just kind of, give you some insight if we can. Again, not licensed, we're not therapists, but I mean, this is what we're doing, so we might as well
very true.
We might as well use what we're good at. But with all that being said, we just hope you guys have a good week. And for right now, I guess that's just signing off.
That's an hour.